White Lions, the finest warriors of Chrace. But what is the origin of these mighty champions of their homeland? Birth of this warrior order stretches all the way back to the High Elf King Caledor I. Whilst he was hunting in the famed forest of Chrace, he was made aware that he was chosen to be crowned the third Phoenix King. As he made his way to the shrine of Asurion to pass through the sacred flame, he was ambushed by dark elf assassins, bent on keeping the High Elf nation in turmoil of a vacant throne. Caledor would have surely died on that day if it was not for a group of Chracian woodsmen who happened to be nearby. Surprising the assassins with their sudden assault, the Chracians made short work of the Druchi, and dispatching the last of them with their great axes, they escorted the future king the rest of the way to his coronation. After taking on the mantle of the Phoenix King, Caledor raised his Chracian saviors into the position of his personal bodyguard, based in the crowned city of Lothan. Since that day, the White Lions have stood as proud defenders of the Phoenix throne. The White Lions form several regiments of elite bodyguard who guard the king's palace during peacetime and accompany him in war. Traditionally, White Lions are recruited from their homeland of Chrace, a land of great woodsmen, keen hunters, and fierce warriors. Those wishing to enter the ranks of the king's personal guard have to prove exceptional skill and valor in the arts of war. Furthermore, the aspirants of the king's guard are expected to undergo a traditional rite of a Chracian warrior before joining the White Lions. This rite involves hunting and slaying a white lion, the fiercest of beasts roaming the lands of Chrace. As tall as a horse, with a bone-shattering bite, these creatures can easily slaughter a band of even experienced warriors. Therefore, slaying such a beast is no easy task, and achieving this goal entitles one to wear the slain lion's pelt both as a mark of his valor and as a symbol of his station. Additionally, a white lion's pelt is incredibly thick, easily able to shield its wearer from incoming arrows, proving that outside of its ornamental use, it doubles as another layer of defense. Another iconic piece of the White Lions' equipment are their great axes. Even though every Phoenix King has offered to replace the armaments of the White Lions, they still continue to proudly bear the simple yet deadly Chracian woodsman axes. Many White Lions carry axes handed down to them as family heirloom, or even as a token of friendship from a retired or a deceased comrade in arms. Yet these legendary axes still retain their keen edge even after countless centuries of battle. It is said that in the hands of a skilled Chracian warrior, one of these axes can down a tree or split a man in half in a single blow. Given their exceptional skill, White Lions are often sent out to accompany High Elf armies in particularly dire times. Tasked with protecting high-ranking officers, nobles and mages, or simply bolstering the battle lines, the White Lions dauntlessly carry out their duty no matter the foe or horrors they are facing.
Until one has witnessed the Phoenix Guard upon the field of battle, one cannot comprehend the power that they possess. Ranks of highly trained warriors, all utterly silent. Around them, the very air shimmers. They are not just the guardians of a temple, they are the chosen warriors of a mighty elven god. No spoken word commands them, yet each knows his place within the battle plan. They do not balk before even the wildest horrors of the world. It is said that each knows the moment he will die, and I believe it, for they face the maelstrom of battle with unflinching resolve. Who but the utterly convinced of his survival or demise could face a hail of arrows or charge from some unspeakable monster without flinching? Oh, the horrors and wonders they must have seen, this Phoenix Guard. How I wish they could only speak of it to mortals, not gifted with such foresight.
Of the many fabled warriors of the High Elf people, none are as revered by their kin and so dreaded by their foes as the Phoenix Guard. These noble warrior monks live their lives in service of the elven creator god Asuryan, protecting his shrine and any who would make pilgrimage there. Asuryan's Pyramid Temple isn't just a mere place of worship, however, for within it lies the sacred flame, the purifying fire of Asuryan himself, through which every Phoenix King has to pass to prove the purity of his soul. Should he be worthy, he shall pass unscathed and ascend the Phoenix throne to rule the High Elf race with the blessing of Asuryan. Should he be found unworthy, however, he shall be scorched alive for the gall of trying to usurp the most sacred position of the High Elf race. It is the duty of the Phoenix Guard to accompany the candidate to kinship on his way to pass through the flame. Just as they are ready at his command during his life, when the Phoenix King dies, the Phoenix Guard appear as if out of thin air and carry the body of the deceased monarch to the ceremonial white ship, which will carry him to the Isle of the Dead, where his body will be laid to rest among his predecessors. Only the Phoenix King has the power to command the Phoenix Guard, and it is a formidable sight indeed when these legendary warriors are roused for battle. Since the time of Anarion the Defender, the first Phoenix King, the Phoenix Guard has always numbered 10,000 strong, which gave rise to the rumor that these warrior monks do not age, or at the very least, that they are able to return from beyond the grave. Whatever the case, it is certain that these guardians are not like the rest of their elven kin. Upon entering the ranks of the Phoenix Guard, its members are led into the Chamber of Days located within the Shrine of Asuryan. The walls of this chamber are said to be carved with fiery letters, telling the events of past, present and future. Legends tell that those who look upon these walls gain insight into both past and future, but are also cursed with the knowledge of their own demise. After witnessing the Chamber of Days, the faces of the Phoenix Guard are left just as grim as the dark truth was burnt into their minds. After that ordeal, the new members of the Phoenix Guard undergo a magical oath which binds them never to speak of the knowledge they have gained. Following this initiation, these warrior monks stand as ever-silent guardians devoted only to their service to Asuryan and the Phoenix King. However, such dedication to the Creator God does not go unnoticed, and Asuryan fills each member of the Phoenix Guard with part of his power. Protected by a divine aura that shields them from all but the most potent weapons and magic, the chosen of Asuryan dive into battle with unyielding resolve. In battle, Phoenix Guard require no orders or commands, for because they already know the outcome of the conflict, they know precisely when and where they need to be. Clad in ornate armor and equipped with ceremonial halberds, the Phoenix Guard are always present where the fight is the most dire, for the horrors of war are of no concern to those who know the precise moment and nature of their death. Each of these warriors fights while knowing full well their appointed hour of death, and they seek no parley with their destiny. Instead, they meet their demise with the same grim resolve they have borne throughout their service. From darkness I cry for you. The tears you shed for us are the blood of the elven kine. O Isha, here I stand on the last shore, a sword in my hand. Ulthuan shall never fall. Tall and proud stands the White Tower of Hoeth at the center of the Kingdom of Safari. Built during the reign of the Phoenix King Belkor-Hadris, the Scholar King, this mild, tall ivory structure was raised by the great mages of Safari, using their arcane arts. Within the tower lies the Shrine of Hoeth, the elven god of wisdom, alongside the greatest library in the world. Countless bookshelves and bookcases spiral almost endlessly all the way from the bottom to the top of the tower, filled with historical texts, ancient lore, arcane scrolls, unseen grimoires and more, gathered over long centuries by the tower's loremasters. This tower is more than just a library, however. It is a refuge and a temple to those who seek knowledge above all else, and it is said that only those who genuinely seek wisdom will find their way to its gates. Those who reach the tower are destined to enter the service of Hoeth and spend their lives in pursuit of wisdom under the guiding hands of his loremasters. The White Tower has been the home to the greatest mages of Ulthuan, but it is not dedicated only to those seeking the mastery of the arcane arts. All who truly seek knowledge are welcomed within the tower, even if that knowledge concerns the mastery of the arts of war. While some disciples of Hoeth meditate for years upon the secrets they have learned, and others focus their time into studying the endless library of arcane tomes, there are those who hear the call of martial arts. These are the Swordmasters, those who seek the secrets of the way of battle, and who spend their lives honing their skill to a degree impossible for other races and even other elves. It is said that a Swordmaster can cut a candle without disturbing the flame, or that they can land a killing blow upon their opponent before they can even react to their movement. And some even say they can fight in complete darkness, guided only by their foe's breathing. Whether these stories are true, the skill of the Swordmasters is beyond legendary, and they can easily perform feats of martial prowess that others would consider impossible. The Swordmasters are trained to master any and all weapons they might encounter, from a nimble elven spear to a crude wooden club, and are even taught to deal death with their bare hands if necessary. Above all weapons, however, the Swordmasters prize their elegantly shaped greatswords. These mighty blades are often 6 or 7 feet long from the pommel to their tip, yet they are so meticulously balanced that in the hands of a Swordmaster they don't weigh more than a feather. These swords are forged beneath the Tower of Hoeth, and the secrets of their crafting are the envy even of the priests of war, the elven god of smithing himself. So perfectly forged and enchanted are these blades that they never lose their edge even after centuries of use. With these swords in their hands, the Swordmasters are capable of sweating aside arrows mid-flight, and in battle, their strikes are so swift that even the most skilled of enemies perceive them as nothing but a blur of motion. Of all the occupants of the White Tower of Hoeth, the Swordmasters are the ones most often encountered in the wider parts of Ulthuan, as they serve as escorts to mages and scholars travelling to and fro between the tower and other destinations. Oftentimes they also serve as messengers of the Order of Loremasters, or as seekers of new knowledge that might enrich the already vast library of the White Tower. But above all else, the Swordmasters eagerly await the time when Ulthuan is roused for war. No one joins the fray more eagerly than the Swordmasters, for they live for the opportunity to test their skills in the arena where there are no second chances. battle do the Swordmasters unleash their full potential, which only the very best of fighters in the world could hope to survive. At the Battle of Hathard Fort, a single regiment of swordmasters guarded the only river crossing for miles around. Commanded by the feared sorceresses of the Coven of Ten, a vast dark elf army sought swift passage across the river. Despite the blistering barrage of spells cast by the Coven, the Swordmasters denied him at every turn. The Swordmasters inflicted grievous casualties upon the Dark Elves, and after hours of ceaseless combat, the river became red with blood of the creature. The timely arrival of the legendary High Elf Mage Teclis to the battlefield brought much needed respite from the magical assault launched by the Coven of Ten. The Swordmasters swiftly counterattacked, driving the remaining Dark Elves from the field. The Kingdom of Caledor, once the noblest and most powerful of the elven realms of Ulthuan, fabled for its smiths, dragons, and the princes who would ride them. Indeed, there was once a time when the dragon princes of Caledor rode into battle atop mighty dragons. There was not an enemy who could withstand their indomitable charge, or the scorching flames of their winged mounts. These noble riders and their mounts proved their prowess and earned their fame 100 times over in the wars against Chaos, and the great civil war brought upon the elven people by the Witch King. In these dark times they were hailed as the champions of Ulthuan, as the unbroken heroes who roamed the sky, as the veterans of 1,000 battles. Yet the glory days of Caledor are long since gone, its famed dragons reduced in size and number, and most of them remain in centuries-long slumber from which they can seldom be awoken. While in the days gone by the princes of Caledor would mount these beasts when they rode into battle, today they ride atop swift elven steeds just like any other rider of the elven homeland. But the legacy of Caledor still swells in the chests of its current nobles, and the memory of their ancestors continues to fill them with pride. So much so, actually, that they regard themselves as the elite of any and all of Ulthuan's inhabitants, including other nobles. This vanity of theirs led to the rest of Ulthuan making Prince of Caledor a slur synonymous with arrogance. Such is the arrogance of the Dragon Princes, that their standard remains erect whilst all the others are dipped to acknowledge the rule of the Phoenix King prior to battle. When forced to remark upon it, the Dragon Princes claim that this stems from the reign of Caledor the Conqueror, who granted them this as a sign of respect for their noble sacrifice. They say that it is not for them to countermand the word of Caledor, as such an act would offer far greater disrespect to the lineage of the Phoenix Kings than 10,000 red banners could ever achieve. Others quietly point out that before Caledor granted them this boon, the Dragon Princes refused to lower their banners anyway. True to their reputation, even in the heat of battle, the Dragon Princes pay little heed to orders, regarding them as suggestions at best. Instead of forming orderly units, Dragon Princes join together, resembling a band of brothers in arms and spearheading any high elf charge to relive the glory days of Caledor. Though they crash into the enemy with reckless abandon, there are few who could withstand their thunderous charge. This rashness would surely spell the doom of many warriors, but to the Dragon Princes, the heat of battle is where they truly come alive. And it is even said that the Knights of Caledor can reduce an enemy warband to ruin more swiftly and mercilessly than any other of Ulthuan's warriors. Indeed, the skill and equipment of the Dragon Princes borders on supernatural, as those who have witnessed them on the field of battle claim to have seen them survive plights that would reduce others to a broken corpse or a pile of dust. Yet the Dragon Princes ride out of battle just as proudly as they arrived upon the battlefield. Other than their exceptional skill, Their unnatural resilience is the work of their Ithilm armor, enchanted plate molded to resemble those worn by the dragon riders of old. Just like that of their ancestors, these armors are to this day forged in the heart of the volcano in the Dragonspine Mountains, using ancient enchantments that were already perfected when Ulthuan was young. Such forged armors are completely resistant to heat, and since both the rider and his mount are clad in this plate, a band of dragon princes can ride fearlessly through any manner of fiery inferno, be it the breath of a dragon or the eldritch flames concocted by the Skaven, and still emerge unscathed. However, when engaged in combat, the true character of the Dragon Princess comes to life. Arrogance gives way to courage, recklessness to determination, and these proud nobles fight as if possessed by the honorable spirit of their ancestors, clashing with their foes to defend the lands of Ulthuan at any cost. Truly, during battle, the haughty nobles are transformed into guardian knights, willing to give their lives to protect the High Elf people. Only when the battle is done does the pride and self-importance of the Dragon Princes return, and it is nigh on impossible to not hear them boast about their deeds of valor in the past encounter.